If you lived in Jamaica during the late 2000s, you already know. Those chants weren't just hype words. They were powerful, emotional, and sometimes dangerous symbols of loyalty. The Gaza versus Gully clash wasn't just a lyrical war between two artists. It became a cultural earthquake that split schools, communities, and even families. It was Vybz Kartel versus Mavado, the Portmore DJ against the Cassava Peace Sing J, and it shook dancehall to its very core. Today, we take a journey into the history, the music, the controversies, and the legacy of the most impactful clash in modern dancehall history. This is Gaza versus Gully, the clash that changed dancehall forever. To understand Gaza versus Gully, we have to rewind the clock. The early 2000s saw Bounty Killers Alliance crew dominating the dancehall space. Two young stars stood out: Vybz Kartel, the lyrical machine from Portmore, and Mavado, the Sing J from Cassava Peace with the haunting voice. Kartel was Bounty's protege, known for his razor-sharp pen and endless supply of clever lyrics. Mavado, meanwhile, burst onto the scene with Real McCoy and Where Dem A Do, delivering melodies soaked in ghetto pain and survival. But things would soon change. Kartel left the alliance. Tensions rose, and his rivalry with Mavado became personal. And by 2007, the streets had chosen sides: Gaza for Kartel, Gully for Mavado. This wasn't just about music anymore. It was Portmore versus Cassava Peace. It was who you rated, who you represented, and in some cases who you were willing to fight for. The music was the fuel, and trust me, the fire burned hot. Kartel struck first with multiple diss tracks, dropping shots at Mavado. His lyrics were witty, surgical, and always direct enough to get the crowd talking. Mavado countered with multiple diss tracks also, and his melodies were also emotional. His lyrics was raw. Fans felt his pain and his defiance. It wasn't just about clashing. It was about survival. Every rhythm became a battleground. Every song became ammunition. Sound systems lit up across Jamaica, playing Kartel 1 minute, Mavado the next. The airwaves were on fire and fans were fully invested. On December 26, 2008, Boxing Day, Jam World Portmore, tens of thousands packed into the arena. On one side, Gaza flags waving high. On the other, Gully fans chanting Mavado's name. It was the most anticipated clash of the decade. Kartel versus Mavado at Sting. Mavado stormed the stage first, dropping line after line, razor sharp and fearless. Kartel fired back with anthems, melodies, and chants that had the crowd roaring. The energy was electric, but it was also tense. The police, fearing of a full-on riot, eventually had to cut the performance short. That night went down in history. Sting 2008 wasn't just a clash. It was dancehall's version of a championship final. It proved Kartel and Mavado weren't just artists. They were generals of two rival armies. The Gaza versus Gully rivalry went beyond music. It spilled into real life. In schools, students divided themselves into Gaza and Gully crews. Principals and teachers reported fights, and eventually many schools banned the chants altogether. In communities, violent incidents were linked to the rivalry. Police reports at the time even noted that Gaza and Gully affiliations were driving real street conflict. The government had to step in. Prime Minister Bruce Golding met with both Kartel and Mavado in 2009, urging peace. Now that tells you how serious it was. Two artists had split the nation so deeply, the highest levels of leadership had to intervene. But even while Jamaica was struggling with the fallout, globally, the Gaza versus Gully clash was boosting dancehall's profile. In London, Toronto, and New York, diaspora communities held Gaza versus Gully parties. Fans abroad were just as divided, rocking t-shirts, waving flags, and singing every word. International media outlets started covering the dancehall civil war, putting a spotlight on the culture. It may have been dangerous at home, but globally it was undeniable. It showed the power of dancehall, the passion of its fans, and the magnetism of Kartel and Mavado. By 2009, the artists met at Jamaica House in a peace summit. The rivalry cooled down, but the legacy was already cemented. In later years, Kartel and Mavado even shared stages, showing respect despite their history. Mavado pushed into the international market, collaborating with DJ Khaled, Drake, and more. Kartel, even from behind bars, dominated the charts with endless hits, earning his title as world boss. The clash didn't destroy their careers, it elevated them. Both artists became bigger, stronger, and more respected worldwide. The Gaza versus Gully clash will never happen again on that scale. It wasn't just music, it was war. It was unity, it was passion, it was history. Ask any dancehall fan from that era, and they'll tell you they'll never forget it. So the question is, which side were you on? Gaza? Gully? Or were you just a fan of the culture? Enjoying two titans pushing each other to greatness. Now this is Sleek Dancehall, and you've just relived Gaza versus Gully, the clash that changed dancehall forever.